19 May 2022. We will take the opportunity and make our movement from the point we stopped, considering that this case is presented to international judicial power. If our system as judicial system is at the segment complainant, we can complain with the object at this complaint, something quite obvious. And the Brazilian Constitution allows this by the Article 1, Item 4 as free will, Article 4, Item 9 as international cooperation for development of mankind and society, especially the Western society. And our Constitution by Article 5, Item 9 and 13, which is the intellectual application of ideas and things freely. In the same way, we will observe on Article 61 and 41, 49 and others that sometimes you can have the case and do the accusation by the corporative area or by yourself as an individual. In general, the accusation of a crime belongs to the prosecution, but the prosecution shouldn't be associated or involved in areas complained by fails, integrated, unfortunately. And we act like this. We could observe in our last conversation that Brazil is inside a segment. And this segment is huge, is a universe. It's a unique thing. We will talk about philosophy to you, your honor. And the Brazil, which had the action inside one segment and interconnected by global events with interaction by the budget as objective complainant with traces to individualize offenders in a systematic way since 1988, which is the moment when this constitution had a birth, up to present time, and projection the integration since we got this up to 2028 by the observation and notice pattern which the criminal offender in general is pretty much the same. The pattern of crimes go after have the origin by variance and marginalism. Of course, that if we had the opportunity to do the prison on present time, we will do this prison on present time. We will observe that things have limits. When you are beyond the limits, you are probably doing something wrong, and you will be concerned by this. If you have the limits as investigation and you cross lines as basic rights guarantee, you committed an abuse. And this abuse creates the right as compensation, which is the argument that this anti-crime budget on present time, which is an essential clause. But this compensation as paper, all things you had on mind. In the same way, you consider that, for instance, if you are under an accusation and as publicly integrated sees, you consider that can cross one more time the limits and try to got my communication serves and the way I apply my intellectual asset as development of industrial activity and core business in the way you do all the time by hoax, by dishonest behavior, which has a consequence, a non-trivial punishment applied against your type of behavior. You probably are, beyond the limits as the interest as being in charge, kind of be charged, because you can't cross the line of my guarantees even when I'm doing this accusation. And this kind of behavior only expose that you do not respect the Constitution. We will have here the idea quite simple. In general, we have the constitutionalism as something that has a premise. The premise of constitutionalism is has a constitution, the existence of this constitution. Now we are coming to the field that we will have. Some theories that we have on West, it's kind of Ferdinand Lassalle, which has a speech that the Constitution as the rule of the people comes from ideas and the reality as power. It's the same idea presented by Adam Smith with that invisible hand that shake the market all the time. And Carl Schmitt, which I think that he's from Germany, it's the spectral political fields that will guide the institution and bring ourselves to the morality. And we have a philosopher from Germany named Immanuel Kant that has the speech that the morality belongs to each one of us. And if you have the application as morality from each one of us to the entire society, this will be suddenly noticed as an aristocratic regime that turns into an oligarchy situation, especially by privilege, by nepotism, by corruption. According with the Montesquieu, it's an evil presentation of power, and the Western society present the institutional power by constitution. And you must respect the constitution to be and get along with the constitutionalism as a premise of existence as judicial power. That we are complaining, it means that there are no legitimacy to present the judicial power in the way things are, at least in the area complaint, or by association, by considering the silence as blind eye. Hans Kelsen has it's on Austria or something like this, that it's a Europe, that field, that middle of the Europe, which is very turbulent. That the sense of constitution is just, the rule. You have the syllogism as application of the law and considering things very pure. And you have another one as called has some more from our time as nowadays. It's the strain of the Constitution as a law to be applied, even when facts and circumstance points to the interest and put this Constitution down. And when we will check this, we will check that the systematic behavior as something illegal had as spectral fuels, maybe not politically presented as a standard type of politics, but sometimes as a systematic behavior by evaluation of numbers, from corruption on regular area until have the finalism as crime, which is a causal relation from this corruption and then turns into a criminal activity as itself, or the misuse of state for criminal purpose. You can cross this simple and easy. The idea that you have in mind is kind of use our model. How can we have the use of our model? Quite simple, and we will have like this. We will have our model, which is three drivers kind of guiding one situation. The fuel was better to erase the board, but we will have like this. The situation is quite simple. We will understand that when you have the perception as sense, philosophy on Europe named David Hume. He brings ourselves to the idea as sense, which is the sense of right and wrong, the sensitive feeling as doing something right or something wrong, which is our internal conviction as morality, and the feeling as itself when you have, you know, the conviction about facts and circumstance, even if it's not declared by a judge, by a court, it's declared by your own conscience. And it's your kind of ego saying that you are wrong. Then, the sense of existence will bring ourselves to something like this. You know, we will understand that the values that we have to do things are the variables that present things made by these values. And we have one specific element here, which is the sense of values, you know, that will be something that do not exist except if had the association with the value. And this brings ourselves to the evaluation that we had. If our evaluation on present time come to positive one, presenting the negative one as few, and it's exposed even by this kind of hidden distribution of power by corruption with redistribution by nepotism set level as institutional organization for misusage of institutional prerogatives, it means that our result will be something with the exponent negative 1. See? And if it's something with the negative 1, which belongs to the value by belong as value with the convictions that sets the evaluation, the evaluation made by a conviction, which is something, you know, presented by this model, wrong. Can we consider that the first premise as the legitimacy of the judicial power in nearest complaint is a reality? The first thing that we must have, and we must have. We will interrupt here and we will keep moving.